Hey everyone, how are you? It's me, Spiritual Dowsey. Hopefully, all you beloved, beautiful souls out there are doing great wherever you are in the world. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope that my video resonates with you and helps you as you go along in your journey. So today, given the energies and what's transpiring in the world, let's talk about forgiveness. I think this is a very important theme, one that happens to be kind of being called forth to many of you, and is especially important given my March energy update. If you haven't seen that video, go watch that. That will give you insight to why I'm talking about forgiveness. Because in that video, I talked about there seems to be a lot of closures, endings of things, especially in relationships or just these social contracts that we have with the collective. And forgiveness is definitely going to be important here for you to move through that closing and ending into the new beginning process, especially since this energy is very transformational. I talked about a lot of people going through a transformation this month, and forgiveness will certainly help you ease through that process. In addition, there seems to be a lot of separation identity happening. You know, humanity is deeply identified with separation, and right now the agendas around separation is prolific. So when you believe you are completely removed from someone else, when you believe you are completely disconnected from that person, you'll ultimately reject them, and that leads to all this suffering and pain that we are experiencing in our world today. And there's a lot of that happening everywhere, from the high level of our collective all the way down to the microcosm of our individual lives. Collectively, what do we have? Wars, battles, fighting, incursions. That's causing lots of pain and suffering there. How about the political polarization in our world, right? We've lost friends and family because of politics. Pain and suffering, separation identity there. How about the social media platforms? Those are giant mirrors of the separation identity we all hold, and the outrageous mudslinging posts and trolls that we see on there. And people wouldn't post those kind of things if it wasn't if they didn't believe in separation identity, right? And then all the other power struggles. Now you bring it even closer to home inside you, right? You have your traumas. You split it out, your traumas from you and the aspects of you that you've rejected because you don't feel good enough, you don't feel worthy, you don't feel etc., right? And you place these burdens on your shoulders and expectations, and then you beat yourself up about them because you didn't meet them, right? Separation identity. How about the things you do to other people because they betrayed you? You hold a grudge against them, or they didn't meet your expectations and then you kind of shut them out, etc. Separation identity. So you can see that all of this stuff is happening all over the place. And one of the things that I know about this process as we go along is forgiveness has been ultimately a powerful way of me healing and releasing and allowing myself to find more peace and joy in my life. Many of you are trying to do that. Many of you are trying to forgive yourself and forgive others, etc. But what I can tell you is that you can't heal things from the same level of consciousness that created the pain and suffering in the first place. You can't heal pain and suffering when you believe in separation identity. It just can't happen. So what you need to do, in my belief, is that you have to raise your consciousness to a higher level. You got to raise your energy, raise your vibration, as they say in the spiritual community. Raise your consciousness to a higher level, which I believe incorporates more source connection, more wholeness, more love. And to get to that level of consciousness, that higher state of being, if you will, that higher state of connection with all things, requires, in my mind, as the creator, forgiveness. Forgiveness is integral to that part of finding unity and reconnecting with the things that you've rejected in your life, personally and collectively. It is integral for you to be able to move forward with freedom and to find peace, joy, and love in your life. And right now, with all the transformations, the endings, the intensity of the energies, all the difficulties in experiences, although they may seem absolutely evil, it is important for us to offer forgiveness, because it allows it to be released and move forward, right? It is important for us to let go of that energy. Now, I found the path of forgiveness through becoming the creator and the creator mindset. I talk about that in my book, Becoming the Creator, A Practical Guide to Spirituality and Connection. The creator mindset and forgiveness. And I also talk about forgiveness even further in chapter 7 of my book. To become the creator mindset is essential for you to find the forgiveness that you need, because you take accountability for your life. For me, my life was all about victimhood, victim-based mentality, me being disempowered. And it wasn't until I stepped into the creator mindset that I was able to reclaim that power for my life. I was able to reclaim all that which I given to the outside world to determine how I was going to behave, how I was going to react, how I was going to go forward within my life. No, I stepped into the creator mentality, stepped into the creator mindset, and that allows you to cleanse yourself of the victim-based mentality. You automatically step out of victim-based mentality when you take onto the creator mindset, okay? And when you do that, you let go of that, and you get to see something. You get to start to see that you were part of everything, that you are part of it all, that everything that has transpired in your life in some way was part of your creative energy manifesting to express and to show something about yourself. You get to see that you were the creator. And, the metaphor I used was that you get to see that you are the painter. Within my book, I use the metaphor. You get to see that you are the painter, the one holding the brush, the one holding the paint, and the one painting on the canvas. So how can you be angry and victim-based mentality when you discover through the creator mindset that you are the one doing it all? You can't be angry at the own painting that you're painting, okay? So there's this sense of empowerment that comes back, the sense of peace and accountability comes back. And when you get to be in that place where you see yourself in all things that has transpired in your life, that's where I found forgiveness. That is where I was able to see for myself that the people who came into my life, the people who I manifested and drew into via the law of attraction, were part of my energy, helping me see part of myself that was hidden. I was able to give forgiveness. You start to see how that all works together, and forgiveness is where you were able to say, I learned the lesson from this. I learned the things that were brought to me, and through forgiveness, I was able to say, I understand, and now I can move forward. No judgment, no grudges being held. In unbiased compassion for my creation to say, I understand the lesson. I forgive those who are part of it because it was for me, for myself, and allowed me to move on. So that was freedom, in a sense, for myself. And I hope that this would be freedom for you. Freedom, forgiveness equals freedom, right? Many of you guys hold on to these things like a jail cell against someone else. When in fact, freedom is more about freeing you than it is about freeing somebody else. Because I assure you, the pain and the suffering and the hurt and the anger you were holding against somebody else is far more potent and dangerous for your own creative reality than it is for that person. You may be able to intellectualize what they may feel from your grudge or what you hold against them. You may be logically think about that, but in no way does that translate one-to-one for what you are actually holding on to emotionally, energetically, mentally, physically, and etherically. There's just no way that ends up being. So freedom, forgiveness offers you that freedom to let that all go, to move forward, to find peace and joy and love in your life, even though the things that they've done may have been absolutely atrocious. but you no longer allow yourself to be defined by those things, because you get to see from the creator mindset. I was part of this process. I learned the lesson from that, and through forgiveness, I'm allowing myself to move forward without holding that energy. Because what I can tell you via the law of attraction, via manifesting, from a manifesting standpoint, that energy is doing a lot to you, and you may not know it. Think about this. If you had energy that you decided to hold on to, such as a grudge, where do you think that goes? If you never let it go, where do you think that energy goes? It stays within you. It becomes part of you. Since you never let it go, it becomes part of your energetic field. It becomes part of your thought process. It becomes part of your coping mechanisms. It becomes part of your way you interact with this world. It filters your vision of how you perceive this world. It becomes all of you because you never let it go. Now, you may not even recognize that, but I assure you, it has worked its way into many facets and aspects of your life. I assure you, if you're held on to a grudge, that grudge is held on to, it's showing up. The energy of that grudge, if you will, is showing up in many facets of your life. It's showing up in your financial world. It's showing up in your family life. It's showing up in your romantic life. It's showing up in your friendship relationships. It's showing up everywhere because that energy is held within you, and it becomes part of the vibrational experience which you are creating from. Don't believe me? Go to chapter 5 in my book. I have a writing exercise there that can help you discover patterns in your life. A very practical writing exercise. I think I did a video on this a little while back. A very practical exercise where you can write down things and you will be able to basically draw a line between things, like connecting the dots and saying, oh my gosh, here's the pattern that's showing up in my life. And the likelihood is, if you're holding on a grudge, that pattern is going to show up in that writing exercise. So do yourself a favor. Let that stuff go. Through forgiveness, step into the creator mindset. Understand that you were part of it. Move your consciousness to a higher level, like I talked about regarding healing. Move it to a higher level. See yourself and through the creation of what all that there is, and that you were able to take accountability for it and to take the power back, and through forgiveness, you are allowed to move forward with it. How else does this manifest in your life? It's probably manifesting physically in your life if you're holding this as well. So if you don't let this stuff go, if you don't forgive for what you experience in your life, it's probably showing up in your physical body as well, right? The idea of you're holding grudge is a power struggle, or someone did you wrong and you're holding on to anger, etc. That's likely affecting your solar plexus, okay? If that chakra is about the power center, and if you have an energetic discord happening here, the likelihood is you're going to have issues surrounding this particular chakra center. That's usually about your gut, your liver. Liver holds a lot of toxins, etc. And if that's malfunctioning, you're probably going to have a lot of skin issues. You're going to have digestive issues. You're also going to have mentally and emotionally. You're going to be defensive. You're going to be aggressive. You're going to have trouble with criticism, self-imaging fears around social situations, etc. So it's not so much that forgiveness is just a simple little thing. If you don't forgive, that energy becomes part of you, and then it ends up impacting a lot of aspects with you, and you may not be completely conscious about that. So do yourself a favor. Look at your stuff that you're seeing, experiencing the world. If you're being triggered by it, or you have old grudges that you have held on to, let that stuff go. Forgive. It doesn't do you any good, especially what's happening now. When things are closing out and these unhealthy relationships are trying to come to a closure, and you have intense, difficult energies that are being brought up, forgiveness is going to be key for you to be able to close things out, end chapters, and move into the new you as you go forward. Because when you're able to forgive, when you're able to let that go, you find harmony, you find peace, and you move from the chakra, which is your solar plexus, into the heart chakra, which is about love, compassion, wholeness, another level of consciousness that I've been talking about that is needed for you to be able to heal. And when you're able to move into your heart, you get to see things for what they are. And that truth of the heart is about love and expansion. And that is going to help better your world as well as add to the total vibrational experience of the world that we are experiencing, rather than going along and being unconsciously triggered and reactive to what is occurring out in the world because you won't forgive. Forgiveness is key this month. Don't lose sight of that. Remember how important forgiveness is for you, in particularly for you to let go and to release that energy and to find love and peace and joy and freedom in your life. All right? I hope that helps you. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Feel free to follow me on my Instagram, Facebook, here, Pinterest, and check out my blog on my website, etc. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.